Hey guys, Nick here from YouTube from Wrath of Zalis. Just wanted to give you a warning for the beginning of this video. It gets a little heavy. I talk about I'm trying to get into my backstory because I've got so many new subscribers, and I talk about my dead parents and growing up with a rough family life or rough parental life. Some drug abuse on my parents' side. So if any of that is not your jam, you can skip the video because it's pretty much throughout the whole video. But we only do some story stuff. You can kind of just skip through and get the idea. No Digivolutions or anything like that, so you're good to skip it if that's the jam. I hope you still watch anyway. I think it's interesting and a little sad, but just want to give a warning. Okay, thanks guys. Welcome back to Digimon World Next Order Randomized Part 15. A couple things to talk about right at the top. One, there are 4 other games I should be recording instead of this. I should be doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Castle Monster Coliseum Libra. I should be doing more wrestling with Here Comes the Pain. I should be doing more Tony Hawk's Underground. I should be doing more Sly Cooper. Instead of all of those, with my limited time to record, I did decide to do more Digimon that won't come out for like 2 or 3 months. So, my priorities? Check. Got it. Number 2. So, Part 3 came out today. That's how far in advance this is. I don't know if I'll keep this pace, like be this far in advance for this long. I think eventually it'll catch up. But getting some feedback about the thumbnails, and I'm like, I kind of get it too. Like, I've known for a while, and I've brought it up before. But I think I'm gonna try to stop showing the Digivolutions like in the video they happen. It is good thumbnail, or it's good thumbnail in that it works. So like it's just a tried and true method to get views, but I don't feel good about it, so I don't want to do it. But I will do it. I will show them like immediately in like the next thumbnail. So you're not protected forever, but I'll try to avoid it if I can. There's a couple notable exceptions. So back in part 8, in the thumbnail was Imperial Digimon, because that was the first time we EXE'd and we got Imperial Digimon. I don't like doing that, but in my original Next Order playthrough, way back in 2016, for some reason, there are 2 videos that hit the algorithm. Or actually, I guess 3. Because in that one, I was just using thumbnails of whoever like I did like the special attack of, or like if I EXE'd, I used them as like the thumbnail. So I was a little more loosey-goosey with it. So like I know for a fact that like Imperial Digimon, Chaos Digimon, Omegamon, all of like the EXE Digimon do drive more viewers. I know that. Best practice would be for me to put them in the thumbnail. I know it spoils it a little bit, but that would be the best practice. I'm gonna try not to. I've got some ideas on how I can make it look a little bit better, but it is this very annoying line that I have to walk between, what's good content and how do I get people to watch said good content. And I don't want to punish the people who are like, I'm gonna watch no matter what. That doesn't seem fair. That seems like a shitty way to operate there. So I think moving forward, I'm going to try and keep it a little more vague, or keep Digimon that, like, they Digivolved the video before, so it's not like a reveal or anything. So thank you guys for your patience. Again, whenever I can, I try to just use the, what do you call it? The story, like, cutscenes and stuff like that. It's just, there's only so many. But recently I've tried to do, like I did Grand Coagmon for part 13, I did Angelmon for part 14. It's like, I can mess around with it a little bit when I can. It's just that I can't always, that's all. What else was I gonna say? I forgot. I had another thing. Oh, no. So, we're in part 15 here, but I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. There's 2 things I have to do. One, I think I probably have to make like a new subscriber video. I've like never felt the need to do that because I would get like 30 subscribers a month. Which is fine and good. I like growth. I don't think I've ever had a month where I lost subscribers. I've never had a negative gain month in the entire 12 years I've done this. I think I got close. I think there was one month where I had like 1 subscriber, or like maybe like 5 subscribers, something like that. It was like single digits. but I've never like fully gone negative. But it's just like I've also never had like that much positive that quickly. So I've never had the need to be like, oh, you're new to the channel, here's some things you should check out, because like it's just never come up. So, but I think I should make like a, here's the hey, new to the channel, you should watch these series, they're the best ones. And I think that would go over pretty well. I think a lot of people could appreciate that. So if you're a long-time subscriber, like you've been here a while, at least a year or two, like you checked out all the series, you kept up to date, what are your favorite series of mine? And if possible, try to make it the more recent ones, because don't just be like your original Digimon World 1 playthrough from 12 years ago, because I'm like, it's hard to recommend that to someone when it's like the video and audio quality and really just all of it are bad. Like, I think the content's fine, it's just it's not recorded well, because I didn't know the game yet, I didn't know the tricks. Not the game, I mean like the recording game. Like I knew the game well enough, I guess. I'd beaten it once. I'm gonna walk to Mod Cape and see if we can find a fighty fungus in the way. But yeah, I need your help. Just let me know in the comments. What are your favorites? I mean, you can, if you want to make it easy, you could be like from just the last year. If you got a favorite that's like earlier than that, please let me know. And like you can post older ones too. It's just like I'm trying to keep it somewhat more recent, just because I think, and this may be so bold of me, I think I have a pretty good balance on audio mixing, thumbnails, editing, recording, all that. I think I've got a better speech patterns. Shit, damn it! Of all the words to mess up now. I think I'm funnier. It's happened slowly, but I think I have gotten funnier with age. But yeah, let me know. And kind of similar to that, since we have all these new subscribers here, I guess I should give you some background about me. You know, it feels so weird. We're in part 15, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should introduce myself, huh? I don't really think about that usually. But I've got some deep lore. I've led an interesting life, and if it's not interesting, I think I'm good at making it sound interesting. But if you've been here, like, my life was interesting before I started YouTube. Just like, I have what I'll describe as sitcom luck, which is sometimes I just get myself into situations and it just sort of happens. Like you know when you think to yourself like, oh man, wouldn't it be funny if like this happened? That just happens to me sometimes. And I'm like, and I don't see it as like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? I see it as like, fuck, I hope this doesn't happen. Like, and then it does. So maybe it's like manifesting it in some way, but it's yeah, I have very sitcom-esque luck, which to be clear, it's just like it's sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but we'll leave it at that, and we'll go from there. But I've had some interesting things happen over my 31 years on this planet, and then even some like 60 years on a different planet. What? Huh? Who said that? What? What? But I forgot. So I was just quickly jotting down some notes of like some interesting things that have happened in my life that I could like talk about in like, you know, 1 or 2 videos. I don't think I can cover it all in one video. I might be able to. I don't know how long this video is going to be. But I thought I would just go over some of this, just give you some Wrath of Zalis, some Nick Zalis lore. Let's start. Here's my first bullet that I wrote here, which I think very funny way to start a video. Very funny way to start a video. Even funnier way to start my life story. I'm gonna read you the bullet, and then I'm gonna get into it a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna read you the bullet, and then we're gonna enter the story cutscene so that I can't explain myself for a little bit. How's that sound? Actually, I can do it a little bit while we're here, because like the story events happening here, all the wild Digimon are gone, so we should just like take advantage of that and grab all the resources. Okay. So first bullet just says dead parents with an exclamation point. Which I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So a lot of my jokes are written for me, and by jokes, and I mean humorous anecdotes, and by written I mean sometimes they're just bullets, sometimes it's just things I think about. It's not actually written. Yeah, I have dead parents. I don't think I qualify as an orphan because I had parents when I was growing up. I just don't have them now. I grew up with a single mother who really liked drugs. This is maybe the most tame way I can say that. Not a great woman, diagnosed bipolar. I don't think... Here's the thing. Do I think my mother was evil? No. Do I think she was careless and just lacked any form of shame? Like, a lot of things that would, like, hold a lot of us back from doing things. Like, I'll give you a good example. My mother used to ask for money from people a lot. Like, she had a job and she had, like, disability and stuff. We'll get to that. But, she would just, like, ask everyone she knew for, like, money and, like, favors and stuff. Like, the kind of things that if I had to ask someone, like, if I had to ask someone for money, like, if I had to go to a friend and be like, hey, rent's low, can I borrow $500 or something like that? I'll pay you back as soon as I get paid and everything like that, or I'll pay you back over the course of that. I have had to do that over my life, but, like, if I had to ask that, it would destroy me. Like, and it's like, it's so, I feel so guilty having to ask about it. Like, it's almost like saying, like, admitting, like, a failure. My mother did not have these social regards. She would just be like, she would be doing fine. Like, she'd be stable. She'd have, like, month's rent. She'd have all the bills paid. And she'd be like, hey, can I borrow some money? And then just not pay the person back, or just, like, ghost them altogether. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. I have morals. I couldn't, like, I'm too normal of a person. I lack that ability. Anyway.
One more time, Yukimura.
Yeah. Exhaust flame.
What was it called in the English dub? I don't remember anymore. Was it Exhaust Flame? I think it was called something else.
They've been like this since I arrived. Training like they're possessed. You can tell just from looking. Yukimura isn't up to this. But even using force, I don't think I could stop them now.
I mean, you probably could. Yukimura looks pretty tired, and I don't think Koda can really
I know I'm
fight.
not setting a great example, but I need to ask you to put a stop to it.
God, man.
Don't try and stop us. This is Yukimura's and my problem to solve.
I don't really care that that's a weird way to end that. I don't really care that, like, you know, you're training and doing it badly, because you can still digivolve if you're training badly, as we're about to learn. But you're also not training. You're just having him use his moves. Bruh, we have a gym. That's how I got these fucking megas behind me. What do you mean? Like, we have a gym. Use it. You were using it, and you just, like, stormed off to, like, I don't know, attack this rock? Like, what is your plan here?
Hey, what's the matter, Yukimura? You done already?
No.
What's the matter, Sora? Done already?
That's right. Do your best, Yukimura. We'll be stronger than anyone else out there.
You can tell that Koda's fine because his eyes look dead right now.
We decided we'd do whatever it takes, even if that means altering our form.
You say our, but I don't really think you're doing much, Koda. I think you're mostly just pushing him.
Kota, if that's what you want, I'll...
Not good.
Uh-oh.
Brace yourself, Yukimura. As long as you don't lose your will, all that power can be yours.
I feel like it's kind of hinted at, but it's not stated, where it's basically Koda being like, I don't care if you turn into Machine Dramon, just, like, you know, just
Yukimura,
control
what
it.
are you doing? Knock that curse into submission.
Dude, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, oh man, do you guys think it's gonna be War Growlmon? Oh, that's funny. When they removed the pieces of Growlmon in the animation, for like a hot second, I'm like, that's just Guilmon. That's not even Growlmon. That's just Guilmon. I forget how similar the two are. This is a biggin.
What? Why? That's not Machine Draymon.
No, you didn't. This isn't like a Machine Draymon thing. You just, like, were an asshole.
Yukimura!
Yukimura's like the break speed off him. He is not winning this fight. Oh, it's Mock Galgamon. That's not like, that's not really as intense as Skullgreymon. Although his stats are pretty high, it seems like. Also, we're just like attacking him and he's not doing anything. You know, now that I think about it, and now that I've used it a little bit more, I think poison really is Poison might be the most overpowered status effect in this game. I know that Heavy can be really good because it slows them down, they can't do anything. Paralysis is kind of good, but it only lasts for so long. And then whatever, I think it's Berserk, which is like the angry face one. It's pretty good, but like Poison is really good because I think the HP of later Digimon gets really bloated. And being able to just like chunk that down by like a % every time it ticks down seems pretty good. Especially if your Digimon can't hit as hard as you want them to.
Try using my antivirus program one more time, please. It seems effective. That is, I wonder if my auto-learning program is doing even better than I thought
shut up,
it would.
you fucking nerd.
It's working this well.
Can't you see he's upset?
Sorry, just talking to myself. Anyway, we've got other things to worry about.
Yeah, you beautiful bastard. Relax.
Yukimura, I'm sorry.
I really want that jacket. I want Mamio's jacket. I don't think I looked at it that closely before. I think it might be like the one outfit in this game where I'm like, actually, that's pretty good.
What were you so impatient for? You're not a kid anymore. Didn't you think for a second it might turn out like this?
Yeah, like, you know how Digimon work. You guys were in like some vague tournament they don't really talk that much about, but like, you have to know that Dark Digivolution is the thing.
Because I've got nothing. I can't do anything. I just wanted to have something I could be sure about.
Yeah, and now not only do you have nothing, you cause an inconvenience to others, you
Our
fucking
friend
dickhead.
here is obviously special. And Himari's so sure of herself.
We literally just had a whole arc where she wasn't sure of herself.
I'm the only one who's just... nothing. It was the same in the real world, too. I mean, not to brag or anything, but I did great at
So
sports,
what?
and I could read people pretty well.
I had nothing. I was just, you know, really good at school and sports and really personable with everyone.
I'm sure I was the kind of guy people would be jealous of. And of course I appreciate
But all the same, I had this festering darkness inside of me that I didn't go to therapy for.
when I had to actually think about what I wanted to do in life, I realized I was just
Men will literally dark digivolve their partner instead of going to therapy. That's all. I'm just
everyone
saying.
would talk about their dreams.
That could be the
and
subtitle of this
goals,
episode,
and
if I remember.
Just try and think of a single thing I really wanted to do. I had this vague picture of how I'd enjoy myself. Find some job or other, get married or something, get older.
I had growing up, I was a romantic, where I was always like, man, I can't wait to find the love of my life one day. And then for a while in my 20s, I was kind of like, oh, that's all bullshit. Maybe I just won't find the love of my life. And then I did find the love of my life. So I'm here to tell you, it is possible, and you shouldn't just give up. I know that sounds like shitty advice, but if I can find someone, anyone can find someone.
And just have a pretty average, decent life.
Ew, I don't want average.
But suddenly, I felt like my footing wasn't stable anymore. And I started to panic, thinking I had to find something. And that was when I got summoned into the digital world.
So he was in the middle of like a panic attack when he got summoned to the digital world. The best
Here,
time.
I finally felt like I was special. I believed there was something only I could do. But it turned out I was wrong.
No, you were impatient. You were on the right track. You just were like, oh, my champion can probably take on this Mega, because you're a fucking moron, dude. I just like, why are you trying to speed along through this? He was gonna digivolve eventually.
I was sure of that after I met this Tamer. I knew right away that I was just an empty nobody after all.
Stop giving customizable nicknames in voice dialogue. It doesn't work. Dear every game studio, stop giving customizable names if you have voiced dialogue. Unless you're going to give him like a nickname or a last name. It works in Mass Effect because everyone just goes Shepard. You can change whatever his first name or her first name to whatever you want. It doesn't work when they just have one name.
And so I ended up mistreating my partner. The one I was...
Alright, skip. I've seen enough.
Occupational hazard, I guess. He was trying too hard to put up a good front.
Mamio? I don't think your jacket has pockets. What are we doing, pal? Are your hands clipping through your model and you just thought nobody would look that hard at it? Because those don't have pockets. You're just sticking them into your... Alright.
As cool as he talked, he still relied on you so
you have a lot of hand. You really put them pretty deep into your fucking... Alright, whatever, man.
Not that I'm really one to talk. Hope you can give me a pass there. You ought to take a rest too. I have a feeling things are about to get pretty busy.
Oh, there's no way.
So, the antivirus program opens up new possibilities for altered Digimon. Fascinating.
Why did I already forget who voice actor? Like, I know the voice actor. I can't remember his name right now. Is it Quentin Flynn? Is that it? Quentin Flynn, I think, had some allegations out about him, but I believe he beat them. Like, I think he won in court and, like, proved that it wasn't true. Quentin Flynn? Quentin Flynn. I know he stopped voice acting for a bit, but did he come back to it? Oh, okay. Well, he returned to voice Cone. I think he voiced him in the original one in 2023, but that's mostly it. Oh no, okay. Hold on. He stopped voice acting for a bit. He only did a couple parts here and there in like 2019. He did Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War. He did Cone for a couple episodes in 2022, 2023. He did something called SEAL Team in 2021. He did World of Warcraft. He played a character in 2020. He is going to be Silver the Hedgehog in Sonic X Shadow Generation. So it sounds like he's back. I should double check this. He basically voiced any character who had red hair for a while, which is pretty funny. Quentin Flynn. Allegations. Yeah, it says declared innocent and cleared of all charges. Okay. Cool. Well, that's good. I try to keep up with that stuff. Hey, especially with like the Dr. Disrespect stuff in the news at the moment. Hey, try to, I don't know, just don't do anything with minors. It seems easy to me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm built different. I just like, you know what it is? I'm not popular enough. There seems to be like a brainworm that happens to content creators if they get too popular. So thank you guys for not subscribing more. Let's see. Come back to town. Yukimura had been lost to the BH program just like Rika, but thanks to you, there was a happy ending. I want you to hold a briefing meeting. Okay. Before we do that, hold on. Let me pull the wrong thing. I left something else in the background, and it's distracting me, so I have to like change my windows around for a second. Anyway, was talking. Oh, right. I can just go through this portal. Yeah, we'll just do it now. Are we about to do the part that I think we are? Because I might want to like sleep it off.
Hey, perfect timing.
Hey, what's perfect timing, man? It's me, Digimon. What's up, dude?
Long time no see. Things have finally
Hi, Mirai.
recovered.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
It looks like this world chose its help.
Only
Yep.
problem left is, how do we spread the antivirus program through the entirety of the digital world?
There's a big mesh of underground network.
Oh, I forgot about this part.
stretching all over the digital world. If we transmit the antivirus program from
Oh, we're gonna
server
fight the
tower,
first.
it
Yeah.
ought to spread.
The digital world's network isn't functioning I suspect that a critical cable may simultaneous transmission won't be.
Right. So you have to go
Then we need
to
to
Faulty Ex
pinpoint the
Machina
damaged
first.
area. Let's ask Digimon from all over for an...
Guess we've just got to tackle.
So do I have to like?
Gather information as well.
Oh, I think this is another like go recruit more Digimon section, I think. Where you recruit some more, and then like once you've recruited enough, you get the message from Mirai to go fix the cable, and then I think if you do enough after that, you can go to the server tower. I think that's how that works. Yeah, invite more Digimon to join. Did I already do it? Yes. Yes, I did. Come back to town. Alright. Thanks, guys. Get away from me. They have very limited poses. They can only do so much here.
Barnacle. Let our friend breathe.
You jealous, Himari?
Very strange. I don't like this.
Jealous?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Spirited as ever, I see.
Hey, there you are, Mirai. How's your work coming along?
I do think Digimon's voice acting does fit him. I really do. But every single time he says "hey," it just sounds so silly. It's just like "hey." It's just the wrong energy.
I've drawn up a map of the cables that make up the network of the digital world. And you?
We've conducted an investigation. We serve it. If we check our, we should be able to refine our.
I agree.
Is that enough in this cutscene, or do I have to come back? Okay.
We've got it. Look here.
And the repair.
It's ready.
I got this like low-res JPEG as a repair kit. The edges around the box are a little rough, which is fine when I like make thumbnails and they're like that rough because I'm not like I'm not making a product, but I don't know.
The spot in need of repair is within faulty Ex Machina. Good luck.
Did you say Machina? Surely it's Machina, right? Right? Hello? Anyone? Alright. Digimail. Go to faulty Ex Machina. I was already going to. It is getting pretty late though, so maybe I'll just like train a little around here and then set out the next day. I think the next day is gonna be a very long one in game. Yeah. Anyway, back to Nick's life story. Had a rough upbringing. We'll say. A mother with bipolar, drug addiction, a little bit of Munchausen for some good measure, just to really even it out. She passed away when I was in college. This is what I was talking about when I said I have like sitcom luck, for better or worse.
Hey.
It's gonna sound really cliche, and that's because it is. Because like I said, sitcom. I remember. So I was in college for that week, and when I used to go to college, I would come home on the weekends to work at 7-Eleven doing overnight jobs. I think I talked about my job history before, or maybe I wrote that down. I think I wrote it down. Anyway, I was doing overnights while I was in college, and so I would come home on the weekend. Basically, I would come home on Friday. I should have come home on Fridays, but I didn't really want to, like, oh man, I have to explain more, I think. So I left my mother's for the last time when I went to college.
Sleep well.
I basically came home halfway through the semester, moved all of my like stuff out, and by all of it I mean a lot of it. Like I basically moved what I could fit into one like car, which is what I could fit in my car, and then I drove it to my dad's, and anything that was like left over I just like accepted was probably gonna get thrown out because I think my mother was like on the verge of like eviction. I have a younger brother and sister. They are both they are twins, but like 3 years younger than me, like 3.5. So they had moved out at that point either. They'd found out different places. They didn't go together. They each found like a different place to go. So it was just my mother. And 3,600. We can go higher than that. I'll hold on to the scrolls that I got, and we can go higher here as well. And I need these two to go up as well. So she was like, she would basically spend all day just like high in bed, effectively, on various things. Painkillers that she got from like, she had like surgery done on her back that she didn't quite need, but she knew she would get very strong pain pills for. So she had this like huge, and I mean like, oh man, what's a good comparison? Like a like half the width of a smartphone. This is hard to say. Like if you hold a smartphone up lengthwise, it's like half the width, like gash in the back of her neck that like healed over eventually. But she basically had this like divot in the back of her neck because she had like gotten like, not elective, but like she had gotten surgery that she just didn't need to fix like a disc. Like she there was a different way she could have fixed it, but she chose the more risky option because she knew she'd get more pain pills for it. She was smart in that aspect. Like she knew how to play the game, but so she would just like be like that all day when she wasn't like arguing with everyone else. So I ended up leaving first to go to college. The second I turned 18, or no, not even. I went to community college first. Then I finally, after like pulling my grades up because they were pretty bad in high school, I went to college. And after that, my brother moved out first, I think, and then my sister moved out shortly after. And her husband at the time had also like separated, so she was just by herself. She eventually got evicted, and then she was just like sleeping on people's couches, like moving from one place to another. And then eventually she booked a hotel room with someone, I don't, like her dealer, I guess, someone she was sleeping with, I don't know, and overdosed on heroin. The guy she was with stole stuff from her purse because they found no like they didn't find any ID on her or anything, or like she had nothing, but called the police and said there was no overdose. She got clean, or she got fixed up at the hospital, like they got her like conscious, and then later that day she discharged herself. I think I explained this in a different video. She discharged herself, went back to the hotel room, overdosed again, and this time it was for good. So when I got the call that this had happened, it was like the middle of the week. But I'd driven back to school. My car had to go in the shop because like it was having a rough time going like 60 miles each way when I would drive from college to home every like Friday or Saturday night and then come back Monday mornings. Made sure all of my classes were on Monday afternoon. So I remember this so vividly, where I got woken up because my phone was ringing at like 7 a.m. and my alarm wasn't set until like 10 because like I said, I kept most of my classes like afternoon. Or I think I might not have any classes that day because I would try and keep my class in the afternoon, and if I couldn't, I would try and fit them all in like 2 days, so I would just have like a bunch of rest days. Because I'm a little lazy. I prefer not to have to go to school every day. I was happy to like squish them into a couple days so I could like, just have days off where I played video games all day or recorded YouTube videos all day. And I think that worked great. So I got a phone call like 7 a.m. I remember waking up. It was not completely because it doesn't make sense for this, but it was pretty dark out, but it was like gray dark out. Like it'd been like a really rainy day. And so like the vibes were bad. Like I woke up, my phone was ringing, like the like atmosphere was weird. I was just like, I don't have a good feeling about this. Like you just know, or just like this doesn't feel right. Why am I getting a call this early? I don't like it's very like ominous outside. Pick up the call. My dad tells me that she overdosed. She's in the hospital. And she's brain dead. So they want everyone to go see her one last time before they pull the plug. And I was just stunned because I was like, it was a call we'd all been waiting for. We knew it was going to happen. And I want to, like, again, from the details I'm giving here, I've explained it in more in depth in other videos, but she had really burned every single bridge like she possibly could have had. Like, I'm talking like 50 chances from each person. Like every single person she met, she just fucked over somehow. It was like she just like made like a sport out of it in a way, and it was crazy. And she was like deeply mentally unwell. She tried to get help in multiple places, but then basically it came down to a point where she would need to want help. Like you couldn't just force her to like, you couldn't just be like, all right, you need to do this. Like she just wouldn't do it. So it was a call we were all kind of expecting, but that doesn't make it easier. I don't know if anyone else has gone through something similar, but it's rough. And for the first time my car had to go in the shop, like my dad like drove me back to college that week. For the first time, it's like I don't even have my car. Like I can't even get to the hospital, like because there's no one there. So I ended up making like a call for help on Facebook at the time, being being very frustrated that I didn't, like, this had happened and like I just wanted to be there for the rest of my family, which is true. I was like, I'm dealing with it in like a shaky way. I'm more like, again, I expected it. I kind of had braced myself for it for a while, but like my brother and sister younger than me. Like, I want to be there for them. I want to be there for my dad. I want to be there for everyone. So I made like a thing, and like multiple people offered me rides, multiple, or like my bosses at the times, and I'll never forget this because it was very, very generous of them. The owners of the 7-Eleven that I worked at, they were basically like, Nick, I'm so sorry. Like, if you just like take an Uber, like we'll pay for it. It's totally fine. Like, we're so sorry that happened. I hadn't taken an Uber yet or Lyft. Like, I hadn't. It was still kind of new like when it happened. So I was like too like anxious and like, you know, a mess to like even like fathom that. Eventually, my uncle ended up coming to pick me up, which is the first time I saw my uncle in like 10 years. Because my mother had. So I was the first. My mother was the oldest child, and then I was the oldest child of my mother's. But because of that, I'm like 10 or 11, 12 years older than my cousins. And like, when I was really young, my mother used to like use me and then later on my siblings as like a bargaining chip. Like, she would say like to like my uncles and to my uncle and my aunts, like, you don't get to see your nephew or your nephew and niece, or your nephews and nieces unless like you do X or you do this. And it's like they didn't even want to talk to her anymore because they'd like, you know, effectively cut her out of their life because they had to. And like I've gone back and forth on that a lot over the years. Like, at some points I resented them, at some points I was like, I get it. And it's like, I think where I've kind of landed on, it's like I eventually did the same thing, so I can't really blame them for anything. I get it. But yeah, so I hadn't seen him in like 10 years. And he was just like, so we're getting in there, and like it's a little tense. it's a little uncomfortable ride, but we eventually just like kind of bonded over the fucked up situation it was, and you know, he ended up taking me there. Where I got to say my final goodbyes. I got to tell her I always hated her to a vegetable, effectively. Which I thought would be cathartic, but I just broke down in tears. I knew it. I knew it at the time. I knew at the time that I was just fronting, just trying to be tough. And this was by myself. Like, so it was like, I got a chance to talk to her by myself. I got a chance to talk at her by myself. And like, I thought I was ready for it. I wasn't. Ended up breaking down for it. Anyway, this is getting deep. I'm gonna pull us back out. Don't worry. So, that's the story of my mother. I don't really have good things to say about her. I don't have any good memories of her. It was just a very rough time growing up, constantly moving houses because she would default on rent and just like, and like screw over, burned every bridge behind her with every person she ever met. Just a really good example of like, if I ever had a question of like, is this the right thing? I'm like, what would my mother do? And if she said, and if she would do it, then I'm like, okay, I can't do it then. Like, a very good shining example of what not to do. She passed away. I think it's been 6 or 7 years now. It's been a while, so the wound is healed. Just, I guess, a little bit of closure in a way. So we all had ashes at our funeral. We got like a small little urn of her ashes as like part of like the funeral procession. Also, I love that it's the duct tape sound effect here. And, cause it is duct tape. And I had mine for a couple years. And eventually I was just like, I think I need to move on. And so I went to her like favorite beach. Like, that was a big thing. Like, we grew up in like a beach town, which we shouldn't have, but we grew up in like the poorest part of a beach town. And she used to go there all the time. She was a big beach fiend. And so I went to her favorite beach, which is the worst beach in the town, might I add. Like, the town had like 4 beaches, and it was easily the worst. It was all rocks. Like, it was just a big rock wall. And then there would never be like any sand there unless it was like really, really low tide. There were like 3 other beaches that were like full of sand and better, and like they were never even that crowded. It was just like a better experience overall. I'm not gonna do the Hagermon voice. I think the vibes are off. I don't think I can do it right now. We'll just skip I also just did this quest in the end of season 3, so like it's still kind of fresh. So we'll skip through this. It's fine. But yeah, I ended up having what I would call a better conversation to effectively a ghost. I got the chance. I just kind of took the opportunity, said the things that I wish things had been different, and I even ended it with, I guess a part of me does still love you, but I'm ready to move on. And so I spread her ashes on the beach, and it was incredibly cathartic. It was the closure I really needed to kind of come to terms with it. Where it's like I stopped holding like resentment, and it just kind of became it kind of just became pity. So, you know, it is what it is. I moved on, but that's my mother. Just so I get to. That's why I'm allowed to talk about having dead moms. It's because I've been through it. I've lived it. Let's see what Rapamon wants to say. Hey, you. Can I ask you a favor? Hey, you know cell phones, right? Humans can't send transmissions without a cell phone. I tried making one of those cell phone things myself. They're pretty rare in these parts, you see. They shouldn't be. You're in the digital world. There should be cell phones everywhere. I wanted to show it off to my friends, but before I knew it, I'd lost it. Alright, I'll go look for it. Real, but there's just one problem. The bridge connecting Pathfork Island to Boulder Island has been down recently, so we can't get over there. Pressing the switch in the control room should lower the bridge. I don't know the details, but can I ask you to lower the bridge to Boulder Island? I'll do something in return to thank you for your help. Sorry for the inconvenience. What did he say? I missed it. It's fun. Now, so probably a thing worth pointing out, and I'm very curious to see how many people picked up on it, or just like kind of were going along with the very sad story. You may have noticed that at the top of this I said "dead parents!" exclamation point. To which I wrote parentheses drugs. Why did I do this? So did I just like? Oh yeah, there we go. Easy. So you may have caught this. I don't know what the equivalent of eagle-eyed is, but for listening, perceptive listeners may have noticed I did say, I mentioned my dad a couple times when I said, Nick, you said dead parents, plural. And you're correct. So I've had, oh man, what is it? I think 4, quote unquote father figures in my life. So the first one is my birth father. He bounced pretty much immediately. I saw him for like maybe a couple days when I was like 11. Like I saw him a couple times. Where my mother briefly like saw him again, and then that fizzled out, and I didn't see him again. This is a story that she told me that I like vaguely remember. Apparently, when I was younger, like when I was like kindergarten age or like preschool age. For some reason, or I would ask where my dad was, and my mother, not knowing how to answer, was like, "Oh, he's on that plane," because like a plane was flying overhead at the time, and she was like, "Oh yeah, he's on the plane for business," and I was like, "Wow," and then that fucking backfired, because then every single time I saw a plane, I was like, "Is my dad on that?" To the point that she was like, she put me into therapy for it. Which didn't fucking work because I didn't even know why I was in therapy. They never explained to me it's because like, oh, you have delusions that your father is returning. Nobody brought that up to me. Nobody even told me that's what it was. They just put me in therapy, and I was like, oh, okay. It's like I didn't even question it. I was like, all right. But then, like, this is as like a kid. Like I was in therapy, like preschool age, like first grade, second grade, I think. And I think it ended up turning into anger management. I think. Which I was like, I think I was probably an angry kid. Maybe like wrathful or something. I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty calm now, with some rare exceptions, which means I'm a fucking poser with the name of the channel, but it's fine. Oh, you found my cell phone on Boulder Island. That's great. So, what do you think the cell phone I made? Huh? It's not right? Flip phone? That sounds complicated. Oh well. Thanks for helping me out. I'll go to the city. Tell me more about cell phones next time. Hey, got rapid on. So that's Padre number 1. So the second father figure, quote unquote, would have been actually I'm gonna do the Gargemon voice real quick. It's very jarring, given the stories I'm telling. I'm gonna do it anyway. We just have to deal with the whiplash. Okay, ready? Here it comes. You brought the aggregate gear. Thank you very much. Now then, commit. Sing repairs. Opening maintenance hatch. Swapping out sprocket. Waste sprocket number 3. Repairs complete. I can finally walk again. Thank you for your assistance. Newfound energy. I will use it to take me to Floatia. I will be of assistance to you. Hell yeah, dude. I love his little fist bump. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's done. We got Rapidmon, we got Gargemon. We still need, I believe it's Metal Mamimon, who I think spawns here later. We need Metal Mamimon, we need Metal Tyrannomon, we need Metal Greymon, we need Nanimon, I think Sukamon is here too, and then Numon, or no, I think we already have Numon, don't we? Yeah. So we've got a couple we can get in this area still. That's why I'm like waiting to take the portal back. So Padre number 2, my brother and sister were born about, like I said, 3.5 years after me to a different father. Technically, that would mean that they're my half-brother and sister. I have never once in my life thought of them that way. I was raised to treat them as my real brother and sister, and I do. Even knowing the difference, like even knowing like now, I'm like, I don't care. They're my brother and sister. I've never once described them as half-brother and sister, unless like I'm doing like a technical explanation like I am right now. 100% full-blooded brother and sister in my eyes. And I love them both dearly. I see my brother more often, just because I don't have as much in common with my sister, but I do love them both. And I do love my fucked up, broken family. But my fucked up, broken, but then fixed family. Anyway, more Whiplash, here we go. Hey, excuse me, you there, fight me. You're looking a bit stunned, eh? Make sure to request at Mach speed is my policy. Don't worry about my request, just listen to the battle rules. If you can beat me in 60 seconds, I'll become your comrade at Mach speed. Come on, what do you say? Let's fight. Switch decision immediately, reply. Alright, let's get ready to do it. Oh, it's Lilymon. That's weird, and I don't want to jinx this. It's a little weird we haven't fought anyone who's used like a special attack against me yet. I feel like everyone we fought, we're the only ones who use the special attacks.
You did it! You're doing it!
Also, if I sound more amped than normal, it's because I'm on my second energy drink of the day. Not because I need it, but because I plan to go a little long today and I want to keep my energy up. Oh wait, did anyone just use it? I missed it? And we were immune because we were already charging ours too. Interesting. I think that counts. Also, I forgot I bought enough Celsius to like get me through the next week, but I realized I just drank one when I probably shouldn't have. It's fine. Ready? Because once some ASMR, here we go. It didn't work. I angled it wrong. Anyway, I'll look at Barmon. I love his little like almost emoticon like eyes to show that he's happy. That's so cute. We learned Electric Cloud. One of the best early game moves in Digimon World 1. So fast, all my moves look like slow motion to you? Whoops, losers can't go flapping their gums. As promised, I'll join you guys. I'll move to the city at Mach speed. No one can stop the speed. Alright, man. Relax. So anyway, father number 2. Not a big fan of his. There was always this weird tension between us where I don't think he was a bad guy. I just think he was a loser. And like, I probably shouldn't say that. But I will. I think he was just a loser. He was just, I don't know. I know he was big on like fishing, but he was also kind of like a fuck up in the rest of his life. I'll give him this credit. This is what I'll say about him. I do think he tried to love me like a son. I do think he genuinely thought he was going to be around for the long haul, and that he was going to like be with my mother forever. And so and he did. I don't think he resented that I was from a different father. Does that make sense? Like, I think he liked his kids more, but like I don't think he like took it out on me or like anything like that. If anything, because I was older, he spent more time with me because I was like an alive child. like I had like thoughts and feelings and a personality while my brother and sister were like babies, effectively. So he got to do like the father like training with me, which was like good for him. Like again, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't really care about him. I don't really think about him, if I'm being honest. Like, this is the first time I've thought about him in years. But like I said, I'll give him credit. He could have been a lot worse. And he never really did anything like, I don't know, like he was just kind of a bum. Like he didn't like. That's really what it comes down to. He at my mother's funeral, he came out to me. He was a mess. He was crying his eyes out, and like it felt weird that I had to be the strong one. Like he was like crying into my shoulder, and I was like, all right, well, you're like 20, 30 years older than me, but all right. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the big one. Number 3 is a man who my mother dated when she had broken up with the twins' father. She dated him on and off. They had a pretty crazy relationship. So he's the one who I call my dad, where it's like he was there for me through most of my life when my mother hadn't like done stupid shit. So he was there most of the time, and he's the one who stepped up. He effectively he started dating my mother. Kind of realized she wasn't a great person, but then he was like, well, who the fuck is going to take care of these 3 kids? Like, she's not doing it. Like, what the fuck? Like, he was the first person to be like, who the fuck left these kids with her? Like, the first person to have like sanity. My dad, also the biggest goody two-shoes you will ever meet in your life. So I had my mother, who had an absence of all morals and all shame. My dad, who was filled with like if he like slightly offended someone, he felt really bad. My mother would be 2 hours, 3 hours late to everything. My dad would be an hour early to everything. It was the combination of this too. When I said earlier, when I was like, the greatest thing my mother did was that there were a lot of instances where she showed me what not to do. I balanced that with my dad, who was like, okay, that's what you should do. So, but like sometimes I met in the middle, where I was like, Dad, you don't need to be an hour early to everything. But I was also like, Jesus Christ, can my mother show up more than like 2 hours late to something? So my correction to that is I'm usually like 20 minutes early to things. Like that's where I landed on that. And that basically describes my entire personality, where it's like, I think my dad sometimes is a pushover. So I try to be a little bit more firmer with people, because I've realized, or I've seen that like you can actually go really far with people and they'll still talk to you. I just don't do that because I have shame. So he is the person I call my dad. He is still very much alive, but we'll get more to my dead birth father in a little bit. Don't worry, hold on tight, kids. We're gonna talk about more dead parents soon. So then he took care of us. This is a really funny story. To me, who has really, you know, when you like say this is a really funny story, and then you tell it, and then people are like, oh my god, are you okay? It's gonna be one of those. So just funny to me. So my dad, I'll just say it. My dad was engaged to my mother, and my mother cheated on him, because again, remember, you can just do whatever you want when you don't have morals. And her response to him finding out that she cheated on him. By the way, my dad's such a fucking pushover. He was probably going to get ready to take her back. And she put a restraining order on him, because why deal with your problems when you can just go to the law? Have you ever thought about that, guys? Have you ever thought about just getting a restraining order on someone that you've wronged so that they don't have to talk to you? Have you ever thought about doing that? You should. It's a surefire way that works. So she got a restraining order against him. Which means we couldn't see him either. And then my dad started getting a little closer with someone that had, like, he met my mom through work. Like, they worked at the same place. So a third person, another woman, and my dad were getting closer. And my mother had like slowly heard about this. So she was like, well, that's attention that's not being given to me. So she went to a radio station and requested a song for my dad while she had a restraining order against him. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? I hear about some of this stuff as an adult, and I hear like more details. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's so insane. And eventually, she started talking to him again, and I don't know that the restraining order was ever dropped, but I think she just started ignoring it. And then he got back, and then they got engaged again, and then she cheated again because she's just the fucking worst. And then I think I don't remember if they got engaged a third time. I think they were about to. And then my dad would like wisened up, and he was like, actually, no, I'm here for the kids. I don't really care what happened. Like, I don't know what your deal is, but I'm here because your kids don't have anyone to take care of them. So he didn't live with us, but he would basically drive like 45 minutes every day from his house to, you know, make sure we did homework, to watch us, to take us to after school stuff. Like, he would drive me to work sometimes, and just generally be there. Like, he would get us gifts and stuff like that. I talked about this in a Paper Mario video. While he was separated from us, he did manage to get me a red Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance SP, when my mother didn't get me anything that year. So he got me that, and he got me Mario Superstar Saga. Or no, I might have already had that, because I think I had a Game Boy Advance, but he got me an SP. And I will always be grateful for him for that. I actually still have that red Game Boy Advance SP because I love him so much. I don't know if he knows that. Like, he knows I love him. I don't know if he knows I have it still. And then there's a different different Christmas where my mother had like signed up for like a community Christmas thing where like you get like, we were so poor we got donated toys is really what it came down to. So we got toys that were like donations, and like she had kind of like vaguely decided who got what. And like every single item to me, I remember I got like a dirt board, like it was like a skateboard with like thicker like wheels, and I was like, I don't even skateboard, like. And then I got like a book on like entomology, like this, like on bugs and stuff. And I was like, this isn't interesting at all. And then my dad, like a fucking superstar, came in late that day. Like, he came in at like noon. We'd like open gifts at like 10. After me receiving not a single good gift and being like generally in a bad mood. I think I was like 12 or 13 at the time. He comes in with Ratchet Deadlocked, which is like the next Ratchet and Clank game, and like I didn't even know that game existed, and I loved Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3. And he looked like a goddamn hero because he's the only one who got me a fucking gift I wanted. That's the kind of guy he is. Great guy. I'm gonna tear up talking about my dad. He's alive. It's fine. Anyway, hey, hope you like Whiplash.
Oh, it stinks like really stinks. But that none makes sense. This is little thing that's an awful smell. It's not like a local person, not that has a nose. It smells. I
don't smell anything. I don't want that special fragrance on me. Let's jet. I don't smell anything.
What? You can't find that the luck low banner? That's it. I said it. I'll put it myself.
Oh my god, he's level 50. Wait, this makes this fight way harder. I think Sukumon's stats are usually like really bad. So he's like a pushover, but like Garurumon at level 50 is a different story. He actually like can put up a fight. Although is this off color? Is this Gurumon? Alright, well it's almost, I think we're about to go to sleep, so we'll EXE here. Oh, it just restarted the song. I was gonna say, will it keep playing it? And I was like, no, of course not. They're different files. There he is! I was rewatching the video, or the last video when we got Omnimon for the first time, and I can't believe I didn't get him immediately. Like, the second I saw Metal Garurumon's head, I should have immediately known. Like, I'm a little annoyed at myself that I didn't see it immediately. I think I was just like, in my head, I was like, there's no way it'll be Omnimon. Because, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, Barbamon is one of the Digimon. Like, that shit, like, there's no way I should get Omnimon. And yet, here we are. Oh wow, that didn't kill. Get his ass! Alright. Yeah, I think that is Gurumon, because I think his coloring is off. Alright, that was a little tough, but we used our cheat button effectively. You guys like that? So I can do that with Sukamon, and I can do it with Numon. And that's pretty much the only Digimon who have their tongue so far out of their fucking mouth. I don't think they're gonna like it if I sleep in here, so I'm gonna like go step outside real quick before we set up a tent. Call it intuition, but I feel like you know what? It's funnier if we pitch a tent inside the sewer. Never mind. I don't care. If they get sick, I'll give them medicine. We're probably gonna recruit Nanimon, and then I'll go back to the portal and wrap it up, because I think we might have to come back for Metal Mamimon and Metal Greymon and Metal Tyrannomon, but I'm not sure. Also, this way is King Sukamon. I don't think you need to talk to him at all. I think he might be involved in like the first DLC story, which is all about the filth Digimon, but I don't remember. Oh, I only have one. That's fine. Whatever. Who cares? I fucked up the tent.
Good night.
No!
Sleep tight.
No! Got some good sleep? Okay. You guys want some sewer meat? Here we go. Eat this beef I found in the sewer. Eat these oranges I found in the sewer. Or near the sewer, I guess.
Here you go.
Okay. Good job, guys. This is one of the areas where I think you get some really rare water stuff here. Yeah, I think Digimercury and Digilighting water have a super high chance here. And acid and oil as well. Oh, interesting. I didn't think that the wild Digimon were going to spawn until I beat Nanimon, but I guess they spawn once you beat, what's his face? Oh, hold on, do I have a work message here? No. Okay. I do, but I can ignore it. Okay. Yeah, more mercury and lightning water. It's the same thing. But again, this is also just a really good source for oil and acid, which, besides this place, you can really only get it in the power plant. I mean, I'm sure they appear other places, but this is like the best source for it. And I can just check the map to see. Yeah, so all the stars on all the stars in the map, those are gathering points. So if you don't see any more, you can just skip past it. Cool. I guess no, we'll do this section. I'll leave this off so we don't have to talk about this anymore in the next couple videos. The fourth man is my mother when I think I was like maybe in high school, maybe like end of junior high. Married a guy. I don't really like him. He kind of got my brother and sister into weed and kind of helped my mother's like addiction with like weed and like I assume harder drugs. But and he was like he's big on computers, but like he knew a lot about computers at the time and then did not update his knowledge. So quickly I learned more than computers about him and stuff like that. Just a weird guy, just kind of uncomfortable. We got oh, actually, it must have been even younger. I think I must have been like end of elementary school when he came into the picture. I was never a big fan of him. When they got married, they held the wedding party. They invited my family in what should have been like a reunite with the estranged family members kind of deal. And they only invited family. There was no friends. It was like a very small venue. And then I found out that my mother did that because she got all the wedding gifts, and then they didn't actually get married. Like, there was no wedding certificate. There was nothing. Like, they didn't make it legal at all. They just like booked a venue and then claimed they were married, and then didn't pay for like anything. And they got a bunch of like dowries and like gifts from like the rest of my family, and they just effectively just like ran away with it. So my family, who like briefly met with us again, immediately estranged again, like immediately. Which is like, again, looking back on it, very funny. Because I'm just like, what a fucking dickhead move to do. It's so funny. You have to laugh. So I don't talk to him anymore. I think my sister still talks to him a little bit. But I didn't really get along with him. Because he was kind of into drugs too. But like not as hard as my mother, but he was into drugs too. And when he didn't have them, he became a real asshole. Yeah. I think that's mostly it. There's some other stuff I can talk about with it, but I already realized I didn't add a trigger warning to this video, so whoops. Anyway, let's see, what voice do I want to do for Nanimon? I feel like I still can't do a Hulk Hogan voice, but I feel like Hulk Hogan meets him. It's like maybe, what did I do for Rockhawk in Paper Mario? I think that matches too. Hold on. I can't believe you, punk. You got some oh, Macho Man, duh. You got some nerve talking to me, Nanimon, like it's something you're worthy of doing. What's that? You making fun of my boots? Don't you know sick kicks when you see them? Oh, I can't take it anymore. All these negative vibes you're putting out are driving me nuts. This is a pretty nasty. This is a pretty nasty accusation. Oh, you're sounding just as cheeky as ever. I'll send you packing. I got you for 3 minutes. Have you ever seen the jump cut? Oh, it's Digimon. Have you ever seen the jump cut of Randy Savage, Macho Man? But it's just him like breathing in. It's just like a 1.5 minute clip of him just going. It's just like in different clips. Very funny clip. I like that one a lot. Ouch! I give, man. I thought I saw some pearly gates for a minute there. Geez, you're a one-man army, man. Wait, army, man, Nani, Mon. Wait a minute, are you the real Nanimon? Hold up, what's going on here? Oh, I don't get it. At times like this, best to make a break for it. Alright. Well, that's Nanimon. What did my Digimail say? Lost phone, that's done. Main folder, come back to town. I know. Yeah, so, rough family life growing up. I think I really should make a point to put like some warning at the beginning of this video. Be like, hey, it gets hold on, let me record I'll record the warning right now, ready? At 1 minute and 6, okay. Alright, and I'll stick that at the beginning. I didn't have to record it here, I could have just done it separately, but I was like, yeah, I'm here. I've got a microphone that's recording, why not? Ooh, you're a little tougher than I want to face right now. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the town. There's, like I said, there's a couple more Digimon here, but we'll wait till they're triggered. I think they might be blocked by story progress. But I could be making that up. Truly impossible to know. Do I have something lighthearted next after this? I have my job history. We can say that for a different video. Let's see. Oh, here's what here's what I can kind of do. A lot of the things I wrote down are like whole episode topics because they take a while. But I'll talk about this. So we had a lot of cats growing up. I would say I'm a cat person in general. Like I just like cats more than dogs. I mean I like animals in general, but I have a weird hang-up that I to this day do not know what has caused this hang-up, but it is present and I will acknowledge it. I don't like long-haired animals. I don't have allergies or anything like that. Like I'm not like allergic to long hair or anything like that. But yeah, I don't like long-haired animals. Dogs or cats. I don't know. They just don't like I'll still pet them and I'll still be like, "Oh, who's a good," but like I don't feel the same way. I'm not like when I see like a short-haired like dog, I'm like, "Oh, who's a good puppy?" And when I see like a long-haired dog, I'll be like, "Oh, who's a good puppy?" But like the enthusiasm wears off for longer hair. I don't know why. I don't have a reason for it. But I just prefer short-haired animals. That's just sort of like a tangent. Anyway, I said I grew up with cats. I used to say, as an exaggeration, I used to say to people, I grew up with 25 different cats. I never counted it out. One time someone said bullshit, and I was like, and they were like, you didn't have that many. You must have had like 5. And I was like, no, I had a lot more than 5. So I counted it out. And the real number, the exaggerated number is 25. When I counted it out, the number was 18. I've had 18 cats growing up. And the impressive part about this is that I have not had a cat for like 5 years. Or me personally, I haven't had a cat in like a decade. I lived with when I lived with my dad when I was out in college. He had my old cat, and then later his wife got a cat. And that was the last cat I like count as me having. So let me try and rattle them off before we do the story thing, because I think it's funny. So we had brother. Brother was a year older than me. My mother had him before I was born. Very briefly, he was an orange tabby. most of my life. He was a big old chonker. He was a fat boy. He lived to be like 20, and he probably should have been put down when he was like 18. I say that as someone who genuinely loves animals, but I think his like last 2 years of life were pretty rough. He was just kind of sickly, threw up, shat a lot. It wasn't a good time. I think he was in pain. Second cat was Cosmo the First. He was not a good cat. It wasn't Cosmo. Yes, it was. He did not like kids. And he was like very like aggressive, and so my mother got rid of him and got a different cat that I also named Cosmo. Cosmo was my first cat. I had Cosmo for, I want to say 12 years. Loved him to death. Very good cat. He was a black tabby with white paws, which I think today is still my favorite pattern on a cat. Following that, we had TC, stands for Tiger Cat. TC, and then we got, this one is one that I've realized the further away we get from it is really fucked up, and I'm gonna have to, I think I just can't monetize this video. We'll just leave it at this. The cat was named Yorkie because it was born on September 11th 2001, and they named it Yorkie a week later. It was named by a neighbor and then given to us. Yorkie ended up being my brother's cat. Yorkie and TC ended up fucking and had kittens. They had 3 kittens. They were named JC to follow the TC nomenclature. One of them was named Bentley because I really like Spyro You're the Dragon. And I think I named the third one Carlos. We gave TC and the kittens the animal shelter, and they changed their names. I don't remember what they were changed to. The only name they kept was Bentley, which I thought was funny because Bentley is a terrible name for a cat, or a great name. Following that, we had Misty, who we had adopted from an animal shelter. Misty was another one that ended up being my cat, and she fucking hated people except me, which is the best feeling in the world. She was a hunter. She would go outside and she would bring all sorts of different animals in the neighborhood dead back. She used to eat the skin off of animals and just leave like the guts and bone. She was horrific. She did not like the other cats either. She ended up moving to my dad, or we ended up bringing her to my dad's where she lived, and she didn't even attempt to go back outside. She went from being like a constant outdoor cat, hunting everything like moles, bunnies, like rats. She killed like hedgehog once. She killed so many different animals. It was genuinely frightening. Once she moved to my dad's, she didn't even attempt to go outside, and she just became like a lovable house cat. She got fat. After this is when it starts to get fuzzy. Oh no! So after that, we had Elvis. So that's number 10. We had Elvis for many years. One time, Elvis got outside and was out for 2 days. Ended up climbing a tree and getting stuck up there. I had to climb the tree, get him, and when I got to the top, he like crawled onto my back and just latched his claws in. I was like, "This is fine. I'm just trying to get you to safety." We got to the ground. He ran back inside. Never went out again. We had Kira, which I told people is short for Bagheera after the panther from Jungle Book, when it was actually the name of the killer in Death Note, because I was in my teens and I really liked Death Note at the time. After that, it starts to get murky here. We had Harley, who was my stepdad's father's cat that ended up living with us. We had Mittens briefly, who was like a kitten we had for, I want to say an extended amount of time, but eventually we gave to someone else. Oh man, this is when it gets tough. I know I had more cats. I'm missing them. It's hard to remember 18 off the dome. I'm just gonna say it. I know we had the last cat was Tinkerbell, which is my dad's wife's cat. And then my brother had a cat named Link that I briefly saw. I don't remember if I counted that in the thing. So that's 15. I'm missing 2 more. Or I'm sorry, I'm missing 3 more, and I can't remember where they were. We might have just had them like briefly or something like that. But anyway, even me not remembering all 18 cats off the rip, that's 15 cats, which is too many cats. So, yeah, I want a cat. I do. My apartment doesn't allow them, unless I get like special permission, or I classify it as an emotional support animal. But also, I just don't want a cat while I don't have a car, because I really would not want to have an animal and not be able to take it to the emergency room if I needed to, like the vet if I needed to. So I don't have it. And people have told me, oh, Nick, you can just take it like on public transportation or take an Uber or something. Like, no, I want to be in control. I would want to be able to take the cat. So until I get a car, no cats. So anyway.
Technically, the program's all set.
Why isn't Talmon delivering this?
Though, we've got one head scratcher of a problem to solve. You know, all Digimon have a different data makeup, right?
That's not true.
So we tried to update the antivirus program so it'd choose the right vaccine for each one automatically.
Also, in like 2 sentences, he mentioned data, vaccine, and virus. Let's go.
It's a pretty unique program, so changing any bit of it makes the effects fade right.
Why is music playing during this cutscene? Shouldn't it be like contemplative?
Self-taught programmer.
Do you have any solution in mind? I doubt it'd be easy to...
Well, I thought maybe...
Oh, that's right, Datamon.
Digimon?
A prodigy of a Digimon when it comes to programming. I doubt.
Yeah, but also don't forget that he like kidnapped a girl in season 1. So like, you know, not the best of guys.
But there's one big problem. Datamon's a scaredy cat. Almost
That's
never
fair.
comes out where people can see it.
So you don't know where Datamon is?
Not a clue.
Datamon, huh? Could that be who Yuramon from town saw on the Nye Plains?
What?
Well, Yuramon is basically sleep-talking most of the time, so we can't really be sure, but...
Huh. I guess Yuramon could have just been floating so softly by.
What a stupid reasoning.
Sorry to pile more work on you, but could you talk to Yuramon and find...
Are you actually
Datamon?
sorry? Or is this like Final Fantasy XIV where you're like, hey, I know you saved the world about 4 times, but I need you to do this fetch quest. I know how ridiculous this sounds. Like they say that in the dialogue. They're like, listen, I know how ridiculous it is to waste this on you, but could you?
Me too! I'm a really...
Shut up.
Great, now we'll be looking...
Come on, Lush. You're a...
No. Get away from me.
Here, I'll get her. You go on and find
Jesus.
Datamon for...
Let me go!
Oh, Jesus.
Stay away from me, you...
Oh, and we're just going to end it on that, huh? No Coda being like, what? No. We're just going to leave it on that? Oh, okay, cool. Great. That's weird vibes. All right.
Made my
Hager wants to come back to Floatia. It's gone to the builder. Really knows a lot about metal materials. Sukumon wants to come back to Floatia. I said it should go to the agriculture district, but I'm not sure I'm right about that. Garjamon wants to come back to Floatia. He's gone to the lab. He wants to make an item lab, apparently. Mock Galgamon has come back to Floatia. He's gone to the Digivolution Dojo. He said it was his duty as an expert fighter. Oh yeah, I forgot he does that. Nanimon has come back to Floatia. He enthusiastically ran over the entertainment district, but I have no idea what his plans are. Rapamon has come back to Floatia. He's gone to the entertainment district. I think he wants to work in the arena, I think. City's prosperity is now 81. This place is really great now. All right, we're going long, and that's fine. Yeah, I guess I'll start the next part. We got to basically tour the city and see what everyone's up to. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not gonna monetize this video. YouTube makes you like tick off different warnings and stuff, and when you upload a video where it's like, did you talk about drug use? Did you talk about sensitive topics like or sensitive historical events like 9/11? Did you talk about anything like sexual? Did you talk about anything like violent? And I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna play the guessing game minefield with this one. So enjoy the ad-free video. I won't be doing it again unless I have to. Thank you guys so much for watching and letting me trauma dump. I hope that it was a helpful. I hope it was fun to get my backstory a little bit. It's kind of like when you play a game and then you don't get the character, or the heroes, or yeah, I'm a hero. Where you don't get the hero's backstory until a little late in the game. It's like that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You know, it would be a great gift to me for bearing my soul to you if you could like this video. Now, is that the most fucked up like this video ends like call to action you've ever heard? Probably. You should do it anyway. Like, what else can I do? So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye-bye.